Welcome into the Joe Dickey Electric Scoreboard here at YSN. Week 4 is in the books, and wow, did we ever have some games. I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, DJ Yoakley, but also my Hawaiian buddy, Jeff Bezos.
Don Ho.
Don Ho tonight. Do you even know who that is?
No.
I knew that.
I think you made it like 3 or 4 times. I don't know who it is.
That's good.
I'll look it up at the end of the show.
There's a lot of places we can go tonight. A lot of teams that were impressive, but I think the one that's going to stand out to me, there's 2 games. Poland loses a heartbreaker to Hubbard.
They had it.
Yes.
They had it.
Absolutely had it. They
A little loud.
No, I'm good now. Now I can hear.
I didn't know which one was ours.
He turned everything down on me. I'm sitting over here. I couldn't hear anything. But no, Poland had this game. This is one they're going to regret because they were in control of it, and Hubbard, gutsy effort.
I don't like that now the target's going to move to South Range. You know what I mean? Because now Poland hosts South Range, and they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. Now, the question is, there's 2 teams there. It's the team that bounces back and says, hey, we got to get back in this thing, or the guys that say,
this
we're
is
out
over.
Of it.
Yeah.
It's really hard to be like coming from a game like that. You saw that you controlled the first half on the line of scrimmage and dominated to like in the second half where you just lost the game kind of. You just lost control. You gave Hubbard the ball a lot more, and Hubbard gave you the ball back at like your 20-yard line to go in and score. It's hard to be a team that just keep fighting, and good things will happen.
We got a comment from We Are Youngstown, our buddies over at We Are Youngstown. How about those Ursuline Irish?
Oh, and that's my second game. That is an instant classic. Ty Bartell, fantastic call on that game.
You'll see that tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
That's wild. That team is just so good. They have so much weapons on the offense side of the football for both teams, but it is unbelievable.
Now, listen, they had a lot to prove tonight. Let's not mark that up. I mean, they can't lose that game. I mean, they can and still make the playoffs, but let's be real. Like, you lose that game, it's tough skating the rest of the way. You've got to win out. So Fitch, it's going to be tough skating for them now because they lost a game last week. Now what do? How do they bounce back? And I don't want to call out play calls, but your running game was on fire. And you go to, I think you just outthought yourself.
Yeah.
In that last 2-point conversion, Mike. I just.
Well, and Jeff said this earlier. He goes, a defensive play was going to win it. I think the 2-point conversion, I think TJ, after he watches this film, he's going to see how just his offensive line was controlling things.
Yep.
He's going to regret throwing it there. But I think maybe he was hoping to catch Ursuline off guard a little.
Probably. But if you watch, and listen, we're not football coaches. Yeah. We don't claim to be one. But if you watch, I think it was Mitchell that leaked out of the backfield and took a hard left turn.
He was so wide open.
Yeah. But Devin was looking the other way because I think his primary was on the right side. Mm-hmm. Just tough loss for Fitch. Yeah. But what a plant your flag moment for Ursuline.
Well, especially after last week. Yeah, you went up. They gave a game away in Chardon.
Yep.
Absolutely gave that one away. And the way they bounced back this week, that I guarantee Dan Reardon challenged them on the bus ride home last Friday night that, hey, we're going to be better and we're going to win this game.
How about this comment? How about them Beavers?
That was shocking to me. I thought that was going to be close. That was going to be close.
We will have the head Beaver, Mike McKenzie, on here at in about 4 minutes or so, 4 or 5 minutes. We'll see him pop on.
He's going to – I don't think he sleeps.
No.
I kid ain't sleeping tonight.
The most intimidating coach in the entire YSN family.
Yeah.
But he's going to be smiles tonight.
I saw him at that golf outing, and you were like, that's him. I was like, yeah. I'm going to go visit.
We're going to go the other way.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the cart.
Well, and the big thing there, that's a rivalry game. Like, you didn't just beat your rival. You knocked them out.
Yeah, and there was a lot of talk. I mean, when you've got 2 teams in one town, you can win that game, not win a game the rest of the way, and it's a successful season for you. And that's what the players told us last night. They said, listen, we're happy to go 8-2, 9-1, 10-0, but if there's one game, it's beating East Liverpool, and it's our house. So now the series, which was it was 22-21, that senior class knows that they passed the torch on for at least 2 years. You know what I mean? So that's huge.
No,
Huge.
Still never want to give up that 2-game lead though in the series. You're always going to want to win, but that was shocking to me to see them hang up a goose egg to East Liverpool. Like, whew.
Because I really do think East Liverpool is going to be a team to beat. I mean, you look at Devin Toothman, who has 2 touchdowns this season, over 50 yards. And you know, the quarterback, Williams, who is a smart kid, just a junior, great wrestler, multi-sport athlete. And now you're looking up the rest of the season. You know what I mean? They're 1-3 now.
Well, and you look at the teams they've lost to: West Branch, Salem,
Beaver Local.
Good quality football teams too.
Yeah.
All 3 of those are.
They can still make the playoffs, and I still think Liverpool will. But again, you're getting the point in the season, Mike, where you got to look in yourself in the mirror and say, how are we going to bounce back the next week?
Yeah.
Because that's a rivalry game.
It's absolutely crunch time for them. Their playoffs actually begin next week.
Yep.
Because a 4th loss could be the one that just, ends it.
You could be looking up at 17 at 6-4 and be like, what if we just beat one of those 3 teams?
And I promise you, what you just said, the playoffs start today. That's not the last time you're going to say that tonight.
No.
Because there's a lot of teams that now have to have that same mentality walking into week after week after week.
Absolutely. Well, while we wait for Coach, let me run down the scores
baby,
for you real quick. Wyndham pitches a shutout over Ashtabula St. John, 41-0. Canfield improves to 3-1. They beat New Philadelphia 35-0. Champion 35-15 over Newton Falls. Crestview 47-7 over Camel. As we mentioned, Beaver Local 48, East Liverpool 0. Latonia smacks East Palestine tonight 52-14. East loses a tough one to Ellett 34-26. Salem still perfect on the year. They shut out Akron Firestone 41-0. Garrettsville Garfield, the G-Men, impressive win over LeBray 35-14. Boardman 33-21 over Howland. That game was tight for a long time. Girard in a thriller 35-34 over Jefferson. Liberty falls to Rootstown 24-20. Southern Local beats Lisbon 38-0. West Branch still perfect 61-18 over Marlington. Edison beats Matthews 35-18. McDonald in a thriller over Mineral Ridge 21-14. Niles doubles up Lakeview 28-14. North Canton Hoover shuts out Louisville 21-0. Game of the night, Hubbard 27-23. They rally in the 4th quarter with a pair of touchdowns to win that one. Sebring falls to Waterloo 30-22. South Range continues to roll along 50-13 over Struthers. Springfield all over Lowville 54-6. Ursuline beats Fitch 48-47. United Valley Christian postponed. Warren JFK goes over to Conneaut, Pennsylvania and wins 66-0. Wellsville 47-18 over Columbiana. Western Reserve 26-0 over Jackson Milton. Cheney, impressive road win 22-3 over St. Charles Prep. They're now 2-2, folks. Warren Harding loses to Massillon 42-33. A few Western PA scores. Sharpsville, and there's a great story behind this game tonight. They played at West Middlesex because they merged. They actually wore the West Middlesex uniforms because it was their senior night.
That's awesome.
33-7 over Greenville. Reynolds beats Mercer 26-7, and Grove City 42-20 over Conneaut, Ohio.
We have our first guest of the night, a guy that needs no introduction since he was on the show last night, YSN Primetime Live. We're going to go to Coach McKenzie right here. Coach, unbelievable game for you. That was a hell of a inspirational speech, I'm guessing, in the locker room.
No, I don't say anything. No speech by me. Kids just played hard. That's all on them.
I mean, talk about this game. It was a big game. Obviously, we talked about it last night. You told your guys it's just another game, but now that the game's over, can you celebrate a little bit?
Oh, for sure. We're definitely going to celebrate. And I guess when we talk about it just being another game, that's the way we approach it during the week. For 10 weeks, we're going to approach Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday the same. Like, we didn't prepare any extra this week for them. If we did, then that means we cheated ourselves weeks 1, 2, and 3 because we didn't prepare as hard. So we prepare the same way each week. And like I said last night, we recognize, though, when you walk out of Friday night, that's what's different. When you walk out in the crowd and what an electric atmosphere it was tonight. And We had a lot of energy going. Our student section was awesome. And, that's the difference there. And our kids did a nice job of, coming ready to play tonight.
I know a lot of coaches will say you win the game by your preparation, but what an effort by your team tonight. I can't think that any night this week you thought, wow, not only are we going to shut them out, but we're going to blow them out 48-0.
No, you never expect it. You never expect that. And obviously they're shorthanded. They have some, they're dealing with some things over there and, some players out. But, that doesn't take away anything from what our kids did and the way we came out and played hard. And, like I said, our preparation, we had a great week of preparation, great week of practice. That was our challenge this week is I thought last week going into Minerva, we did not have a very good week of practice, as opposed to what we had weeks 1 and 2. So we challenged to get back to the same effort and practice and the same intensity and really the same focus that we'd had early in the season. And I thought the kids did that, and it paid off tonight.
Who's some of the guys that just stood out tonight that gave you that extra effort and a great performance?
Man, I hate to single anyone out, to be honest with you. We, especially, not watching the tape, but I hate to do that just because I don't want to leave anyone out because I'm sure if I did that, I'd be leaving people out. It was a team effort, Our line was blocking well. Our kids were making great catches, great runs. Austin was throwing the ball well and making some runs himself. And then our defense, front to back, our line was getting penetration. Did a nice job of clogging up running lanes. Our linebackers were there to clean things up. And when they did pass, our DBs were over the top. And even in run support, when they were running, they like to run a lot of stretch and run outside. And I thought our DBs came up as we were stringing things out. And like I said, it was just a team effort. Everyone did great and very, very proud of them. And, we're going to celebrate, and it's a big win. It's always great to beat those guys. And so we're going to celebrate this weekend. And then for the kids come Monday, for us as coaches, about 8:00 tomorrow morning, we're going to turn our focus to Edison. And, the kids are going to celebrate, and come Monday, they're going to turn their focus to Edison. And that's the next game on our schedule. And we can't focus on what we did tonight, but we'll celebrate the next couple nights. Very, very proud of them and proud of our coaches. I thought our coaches did a great job of preparing, putting together a game plan on both sides of the ball, made some tweaks to what we were doing, and the kids responded. They executed it, but very proud of the work that our coaches put in as well.
Coach McKenzie here with us on the Joe Dickey Electric Scoreboard Show. Coach, you did this shorthanded. A lot of people don't realize that. You did it with some of your key players out. What does that say about this team and the depth of this team?
Our kids don't panic. We obviously have some depth and a lot of talented kids. And it's nice, the one thing with what we have, we're able to spread it out. It's really hard to key on one person. I think going into a game, as a defense, I think it's hard to say, hey, we're going to take away this one guy and force these other guys, because we really don't rely on one person to really carry us. So that's what's nice. Everyone answers the bell, and whoever's turn it is to carry the ball, catch the ball, block, they do it.
I would say that you haven't had time to study Edison, but I know better than that. And I know that you've been around Edison for a time or two. Talk to me about what you're expecting of your players next week and what kind of football game we're going to watch.
Out of Edison, Coach Colopy's a very, very good friend of mine, and, a very ultra successful baseball coach. And I know how he runs a program, and he's one of those guys that, whatever he was coaching, if it was a badminton team, they're going to be good because he's going to be disciplined. He's going to learn the X's and O's of it, but he's going to run the program right. And so he could coach whatever. So I know they're going to be disciplined. They're going to be hard-nosed, and it'll be interesting for us. We've got myself, who was the head coach there, and then Coach Stickles took over for me and was there for 5 years, and then Coach O'Brien took over for him and was there for a few years, and all three of us are together now at Beaver. So for us, it'll be interesting. But like I said, it's not going to change anything. We're still going to prepare as hard as always, and we're going to come out with the next one on our schedule.
Coach, as always, it's an honor. We appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
You too. Congratulations.
Congrats, Coach.
There he is, Coach McKenzie, one of the best there is. I mean, nobody saw that coming.
No.
Nobody did. And I love Coach. And I said it last night. He's a great father, great husband, first and foremost. But, man, he had his kids. Whatever he says he doesn't fire his kids up, his kids are fired up for him. I mean, to win by that margin, that says something about your program.
Well, and you win shorthanded. you had backups that played key roles in that game tonight. So they come through. I would say that game plan, because that was perfect. That he get all three phases just hit like a fine running engine, and all cylinders clicked for him, Jeff.
Yeah, it starts up front, and that's what was the big thing. I watched a little bit of prime time and had a couple offensive linemen on, and they were humble as anything. DJ asked him, like, how's that, is it good to be the offensive lineman because you don't get really praised? He goes, that's what we do it for. We do it for the backs to get everything done. And he said it tonight that it started up front with their defensive line getting great pressure, he said, and it just makes it easier to run the football, to do things and play defense, because you don't have to put 10 guys in the box if you can get pressure with your front seven. But what a win. I didn't see that coming at all.
Biggest stunner of the night?
We got a
phone call coming in. Oh, that's because I got the hotline up. This is not going to be good. I just got a bad feeling about this, boys.
All right.
You're on the Joe Dickey Electric.
Yes, this is Radar calling in from Louisville, as a matter of fact. And then I got to tell you guys, I saw the tail end of that Ursuline Fitch game. I got to admit, really, Ursuline really earned the victory, no doubt about it, right there.
Sure, absolutely did, Radar. I mean, what surprised you about that game?
High scoring. In fact, I was kind of surprised that Fitch went for the 2-pointer for the win, and they overthrew it, and then went for the game-winning field goal, which was blocked. I gotta say, heartbreak city for Austintown right there, and a big one for Fitch right there. A big one for Ursuline.
I wouldn't be heartbroken if I'm in Austintown. I think you're still in a good position, not only to make the playoffs, but go deep into it. But this is a live and learn for Coach Parker and the boys.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there were a lot of games like this last year that the ball, turned the other side, and we thought we were seeing it with that turnover late in the game. So, Radar, was this the game of the night for you?
It was one of the games of the night for me, but because the other game of the night, obviously, was that comeback of Hubbard, down 23-6 at half. In fact, down 23-13 going into the final stanza. Two fourth quarter TDs, both of them probably from Caffey. I got to admit, Hubbard definitely deserved a big dog of the week for their comeback effort. And then the big stinker, obviously, to Pullen Seminary. They had a 23-6 lead at the half. Someone had to tell Pullen you had to play 4 quarters and not 2.
Yeah, I mean, I give more credit to Hubbard than I do blame to Pullen, because Hubbard knew. I think we all knew it was going to be a game like this, a close game. We didn't know how we were going to get to that point, but give credit where credit is due. I mean, Hubbard came, and they started swinging out of the corner early in that second half.
Well, I think the big thing for Hubbard was they made their adjustments, but it was just maybe not so much of a big adjustment, but they blocked better in the third and fourth quarter.
Well, and here was the other thing. I think we saw it towards the end stretch there, is they ran away from Colosimo.
Yes. They
ran away. They saw where he lined up, and even at the goal line where Caffey went in, they ran away from 11. Christian was on the line, and they ran outside.
Mm-hmm. They tried one play inside, and he absolutely blew that up.
No bueno.
Yeah, and it was like, no. And if I was him, I was standing there, come at me 3 more times. I'm going to beat you all 3 of them.
And he wants it. He's the kind of guy that wants it. And like, if you know that kid's heart, if you know he wears that green jersey for a reason underneath his jersey, and it's because of who he is, the character of him, and what he's been through, what he's overcome, and the adversity, and who he represents on that football field. And I think Hubbard recognized it too. They said, you know what? We're going to take a backseat.
Yeah, we're going to go the other way.
So there you go. Sorry. There he is. Bye.
Yeah.
Yep.
Radar, what else you got for us?
Well, before I go, I would like to say to those of you that are tuning into the Dickey Electric Scoreboard, to tune into Focus on Football on goldenstringradio.org tomorrow afternoon from 1:30 to 2:30. We'll recap all of the tonight's action, which includes, by the way, Hubbard's come-from-behind victory, but then impressive victories from South Range and Springfield Local. Unbelievable.
It was awesome. Thanks, Radar, for chiming in. We appreciate you dropping by every Friday night. there he goes, I guess.
He hung up.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Gone.
Love when Radar pops on. We're going to get to our boys, our guys, calling the Hubbard victory today. We bring in Romo. We bring in Jamie. Gentlemen, tell us about this is a story.
Well, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
A little bit. It's a little broken up, but go ahead.
So that was one of the comeback wins in the history of Hubbard football right there. I mean, that being down 23-6 at half and then coming out your first possession, march right down the field with TC Caffey, put in the end zone. And then we were watching back the audible call too while we were waiting our turn.
Jamie's got to jump in and finish here.
All right, Jamie, go ahead.
Romo's got a longer drive home than me. That's the sad part about it. So he's probably like a minute and a half away from home. But we were watching, like he said, and they had that 4th down, and I want to say 6 inside the 20-yard line of Hubbard. That was a chance to kind of put the game away. Fulton threw that ball to the back corner of the end zone. I didn't think it was a horrible ball. I said it on the broadcast. It was in a spot where it was either his guy or no guy. I didn't hate it, but on 4th down, I would have liked to seen it a little bit closer. If you got to throw a jump ball there, it is what it is. But that could have been a huge turning point in the game. Pullen had the chance to kind of put him away, and who knows where it would have went from there.
All right, so we talked about it already. Radar kind of alluded to it. He was already poking the bear a little bit against Poland. I mean, do you give more credit to Hubbard winning this game or Poland losing it?
Right. I heard Radar, and that was a good call-in, I got to say. I was listening to that on my way home. I like Radar, but I think it's more credit to Hubbard winning. You know, it's easy to always put the blame on the team that lost the lead and say, oh, they blew this game, which maybe they did a little bit, but you got to give a whole lot of credit to TC Caffey, and even more than that, Jeff talked about it. I mean, that offensive lines don't get a lot of love. We were spreading the love on the broadcast because they did an absolutely amazing job. One of the big adjustments I saw them do was true 2 tight end sets. They brought in Nicky Van Such and Donnie Sheffo, and those guys did a terrific job helping out with the O-line, just clearing holes. I mean, TC could have drove a semi-truck through it.
All right, so when you look at this, it sets up obviously what we're looking at already, and I hate doing this, but we're week 10. We're looking at it. It's South Range. It's Hubbard. If both teams can get healthy, stay winning, that is the game in the state, my friend. I mean, you saw what South Range did tonight. They completely blew the doors off of Struthers. That's going to be a game, but can Hubbard keep focused all the way to week 10?
I wouldn't be surprised at all if they do stay focused. Going into the season, talking with some of the coaches, they thought that, hey, Poland's going to be a big week because, yeah, they're going to be really good. But like you said, coming off those first 2 games, Norway, Cardinal Mooney, obviously Shaw, a little bit of a drop down, but those were some big games, and your head can get a little big going to Poland thinking, oh, beating our chest, nobody's going to stop us. It's kind of like that in the first half. They didn't come out and look great. Luckily, they got the troops together in halftime, but I think both teams will be 9-0 going into week 10 because the NE8 right now, you've got Poland, you've got Hubbard, and South Range. It's that top 3, and those 3 are really freaking good. I don't see anyone being able to steal one away from them. I mean, I'm high on Jefferson. They almost beat Girard tonight. I have them to beat Girard, but I really don't see anybody being able to steal one away from Hubbard, South Range, and Poland's not going to lose again. I guess South Range maybe.
Do you want to kick it over to Romo?
Of course, Romo.
What did I miss? My bad.
Oh, you missed a lot. And like
missed everything.
In like 3.5 minutes, we went over everything. But I want to ask both of you, because I noticed it here a lot more in the second half. They located where Colosimo was, and they made sure they didn't run at him, except that one time at the goal line where he absolutely blew the play up. Did you guys notice that Albert made a pretty good adjustment there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they made a great adjustment that whole entire second half. As you said, Christian Colosimo, he's one of the best players in the area. I mean, without a doubt. Every time he was close to the ball carrier, for anyone on Hubbard's side, I mean, he's going to win that battle most of the time. TC won a couple of the battles, but Christian, Hubbard did a good job not running to his side because every time he got close, I mean, he wrapped up and he put the guy on the ground with a lot of force. I mean, he threw TC to the ground. One of the plays on that last possession for Hubbard. Both those teams, rivalry game, adrenaline was pumping. There was a lot of chippiness going on, but no one walked away with a bad injury. It was a great game.
What is it with you guys? You guys always get the great games to call.
Hey, man, it's something in the water over here. I'm going to be honest. Something in the water. Keep filling up on it.
Gentlemen, as always, great calls tonight. We could hear you through the TV in the front of the studio. So
Yes.
screaming, we love it. We just appreciate you guys so much. Congratulations on a Hubbard victory and a game well called.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Great job, boys.
There they go. Unbelievable. Mike, you want to run through the scores one more time?
Yeah, sure. Wyndham shuts out Ashtabula St. John 41-0. Canfield 35-0 over New Philadelphia. Champion beats Newton Falls 34-15. Crestview 47-7 over Camel. Beaver Local 48-0 over their rival East Liverpool. Latonia all over East Palestine 52-14. East falls to Ellett 34-26. Salem 41-0 over Firestone. Garrettsville Garfield 35, LeBray 14. Howland falls to Boardman 33-21. Girard in a thriller over Jefferson 35-34. Rootstown beats Liberty 24-20. Southern Local 38, Lisbon nothing. Marlington falls to West Branch 61-18. Edison 35-18 over Matthews. That phone line is ringing and we like it
right now.
I don't even know when it started ringing.
McDonald beat Middle Ridge 21-14. Niles 28-14 over Lakeview. North Canton Hoover 21-0 over Louisville. Game of the night, Hubbard rallies to beat Poland 27-23. Waterloo beats Sebring 30-22. South Range continues to roll along. They dismantle Struthers 50-13. Springfield Local 54-6 over Lowville. Ursuline 48-47 over Fitch. Warren JFK goes over to Conneaut, Pennsylvania, wins 66-0. Wellsville over Columbiana 47-18. Western Reserve beats Jackson Milton 26-0. And Cheney goes on the road, beats St. Charles Prep 22-3. Harding falls to Massillon 42-33. 3 Western PA scores. Sharpsville over Greenville 33-7. Reynolds 26-7 over Mercer. And Grove City beats Conneaut, Ohio 42-20.
We go to the phone lines. Who do we have?
It is Ty Bartel.
All right.
Hey, what's up, Ty?
The man, the myth, the legend.
Ty, you can hang up. We'll bring you on the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, Ty.
You want to be
All right.
FaceTime?
Yeah, send me the link.
I'll send you the
join up.
link. All right. We'll get Ty. Thanks, Ty. We get Ty. I invited Trey as well, so we'll have some back and forth.
We'll like that.
I like it.
As much as I like the phone line, I like seeing people's
The
faces.
StreamYard is
Yeah, you got to
awesome.
show that moneymaker, right? It's
Where's
what it's
Ty?
all about.
Ty. All right.
We'll get to that. Any game that shocked you?
Well, minus the Beaver Local East Liverpool game. Yeah, a little bit. I was a little shocked to see Canfield really beat up
Yes.
New Philly. I thought that game was going to be a little bit closer, but watching that Canfield team play Dover a couple weeks ago, I think they just were really, really young up front, and it all starts up front. But they figured some things out the last 2 weeks, really dominating teams. I like that. The LeBray score a little bit. I didn't like it. To be perfectly honest with you, Garfield, I love them.
They're on the LeBray wagon.
Yeah,
Mike.
I
get it.
have to.
I get
But
But
Garfield's good. You know, that team is good. They're going to run the ball at you if you don't stop it.
10-0.
Good.
We said it on the show today. One team's going to go 10-0. The other team's going to go 9-1.
and they may see each other in the playoffs.
No.
No,
Different
LeBray-
division.
Different division, okay.
Love it.
I thought the same thing 2
Yeah,
weeks ago.
I did too. So
No,
I'm sorry.
see, I told DJ this on Audible Call. That game that I would want to see is, you know, that team versus South Range, where you got to keep the team off the field.
Yeah,
We got the boys on the line.
There they are.
We got Trey and Ty. First, Ty, with all due respect, it's Trey's night. Trey and his Irish get the big win. T, what are you thinking?
That was probably the most insane high school football game I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, that last minute was just absolutely insane. I mean, there was people leaving the stadium, and you could hear the heels dig into the concrete as they stopped, as everything was happening. I mean, it's just insane.
All right. Were you at the luau with Jeff? What's going on? What do you have going on around your neck there, bro?
So I actually pregame our theme was beach. I had one of my guys run me up some lays.
There you go.
Nice.
Well, aloha, and say hello. I don't know if you saw Jeff's shirt yet, but when you do, it'll fit in perfectly with Ursula's night tonight. All right, Trey, that last couple minutes there, it was the missed 2-point conversion, the play call, and then somehow, some way, Fitch finds a way to get the ball back. What was going through your mind as an Ursuline student, first and foremost?
So, as a commentator, DJ, I try to not be biased or show any bias toward any. But I can tell you that my heart dropped to my stomach when I saw the onside kick. I mean, me and Ty's reaction flip-flopped in a matter of, I think, 5-10 seconds. So it was definitely like to play with my emotions. Yeah, just insane.
I need a computer to.
All right, bye, Ty.
Bye, Ty. See you later. I guess you're carrying us, buddy. All right, so then that field goal attempt. I mean, everybody. You brought the house. You brought the kitchen sink. What was going through your mind on that? You were seeing it and trying to call it live, and then you were the one screaming at the top of your lungs.
Yeah. So I was talking. I tried to like turn my mic away before the kick happened, and I asked him. I said, "You've been calling these games." I asked Ty. I said, "Is this in his range?" He said, "Absolutely, it's in his range." So the nerves started to shoot up, and then as everything happened, it's like I saw it in slow mo. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I don't think anybody in the stadium could believe what they were watching. It was just so crazy that how quickly everything transpired.
Instant classic, man. Instant classic. Welcome to the team, man. That's the big first game that you've called for us so far, and we're looking forward to many, many more. Thanks for joining us here. We'll see if we can get Ty back on. Hey, be safe going home.
Thank you, man. Have a good one, guys.
You got it.
Too, man.
Trey Civarella, and just like that, look
There
who
he
joins us.
He's back.
Coming back here. A little bit of lagging issues, but we got it all figured out now. How we doing, guys?
You're doing well, man. How are you?
You know what? After a game like that, out of breath, little sore in the throat, but nothing a big bottle of water and a good night's rest isn't going to fix. That was a hell of a game tonight.
All right, you've called a lot of these. I mean, you've nicknamed yourself, and we've nicknamed you and knighted you as Big Game Bartell. Where does this stack up for you?
One of the biggest games football-wise that I remember calling was that Steubenville-Fitch game last year. This has absolutely exceeded that. I mean, you want to talk about DeMarcus McElroy, 4 touchdowns tonight, over 300 yards rushing. Absolutely insane. And then we see the rushing of both DJ Williams, as we obviously hope that number 42 for the Falcons is all good health-wise, and we hope he gets back on the field. But him, Tyree Mitchell, in a game where you had Devin Sherwood and Brady Shannon, we said the running backs' names more than ever before. And I think that was the most incredible thing, is both of these teams coming in with completely different offense than what we expected, and both finding success.
It was funny, Ty. We were sitting here, Jeff and I said to each other, and DJ was in on it too, the defense is going to have to make a play. That was going to be the difference in the game. The 2-point conversion, I was a little shocked, and I want to know what your feeling was. They've just run the ball right down their throats, and they passed it on that. Do you think Coach might want that one back after he watches the game film?
And you know what? That was the thing that Trey and I both were talking about too. I said it, with as much success as you had on the ground, and I understand DJ Williams was out with injury at that point, but you had Trey, you had Tyree Mitchell that went right in there with a touchdown the last play in the game. I don't know why you don't go back to the well when you found that much success. I guess if you're going to give Coach Parker any sort of defense, he just trusted the ball in the hands of number 2 at the last play of the game.
Well,
What was at that time supposed to be the last play of the game.
Yeah, I get that. And I think it's easy for us to sit here and say, what if, but I still think it's gutsy. They get the onside kick. I mean, you're thinking the game's over at that point. Now, all of a sudden, you're like, oh, brother. And then,
and you know what?
That.
Coach Parker's never shied away from those trick plays, and he's never shied away from pulling something out of the old hat or the deep bag of tricks. But you know what? As good as Fitch played, and you know what Coach Parker did and what they did trick play wise, as impressive as that was, you got to hand it off to the Irish. 2 times when the game was on the line, coming up with a huge stop. And you want to talk about defenses, and we know the defense has struggled, and we know Coach Reardon would love to have that defense be a lot sharper. But the point is, just like in that Bishop Hartley game, they came up when they needed to most, and they got a huge victory against the Falcons away in Greenwood Chevy Stadium tonight.
All right, Ty, I know you like to drag out answers, but I'm going to ask you point blank. Who needed this game more tonight? Was it Fitch or was it Ursuline?
I think you saw the team that won needed the game more tonight. I think it was a case where Ursuline after that loss needed it, and I think they showed it tonight.
Ty Bartell, big game Bartell.
That
Thank
boy,
you so
Ty.
much,
Good-
buddy.
great
We
game,
appreciate it, and you killed it. You and Trey killed it. Great job, buddy.
We know we did. Thank you guys for having me on. And remember, we might have had other places might have had that game on too, but we had that game plus a lot of other great ones tonight, and you can't find that anywhere else other than YSN.
Legend. Company guy.
I'll see you later, fellas. Have a great night.
Woo! That was awesome. Love Ty. Love him. And Steve Gilmartin chiming in saying, great call. It was a great call. It was a great game. And there's only one place to go for 21 games tonight, and I thought we knocked it out of the damn park. And because not only there, but you had 22. If you could just sit back in your chair, you're a lazy boy, and you just kick on the audible call. I had a fun time tonight, boys.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Oh, it was a
Being down
great time here.
It was hot and heavy early. We were sitting there and Sigler's over there pressing buttons like he's Beaker from Muppet Babies.
Hold on, give me a second. Hold on. You haven't got there yet.
We're yelling audibles to him. He's like, I didn't get to the first one.
Time out.
A great night on the network once again, and another day that we started at the break of dawn, and we're here at 10:54, which means that there's plenty of time to get yourself prepared. Get over to Channel 21 WFMJ and start up the overtime report, which starts at 11:09. 21 straight minutes of high school football, which is what we know and we love.
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot beat that overtime report.
No.
So are we going to wrap it up? You want to put a bow on it, Mike?
We can. We're going to put a bow on it. We've run down the scores a couple times for you. Everything fantastic tonight. Great games, some surprising games. Teams are still perfect. Teams that I think that got must wins tonight, and Ursuline ranks right up there. And it sets up week 5. Now it's go time for some teams.
I can't
I'm
wait.
so excited. Cannot wait to be here next week. But we love our sponsors.
Yep.
Thank you to every one of them. All the people that are, watching, listening. We appreciate every single one of you. You guys are fantastic.
Can't do without them.
And do me a favor tomorrow. Take a moment, bow your head, say a prayer for all those people. 20 years ago, our nation was going through a devastating time. Make sure you just pause for a moment. Think about them.
We love our military, past, present, and future. I mean, that's why our colors are red, white, and blue, pure and simple. And everybody asks me, and that's what I tell them. That's why. It's because you can't do something like this in any other country other than America. And I love this country, and I strongly support our veterans and our active duty military. So thank you, Mike. Thank you, Jeffrey. A great night
Thank you.
on the network. And we bid you adieu for the night. Wave the damn banner.